Trying to get a lot of dough. Anything is possible. Turn me up in the headphone. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles, cause anything is possible. Yeah. Oh man, I got a lot of gold. Stack that bread and by my nose. Anything is possible.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Ultimate Wealth. I'm your host, Derek Passalaqua, and today's episode is a special 4th of July edition. So naturally, we're diving into freedom, independence, and the pursuit of wealth, but not in the way you might expect. We're going to be talking about how America's founding fathers didn't just fight for political liberty, but how they also laid the foundation for anyone looking to build generational wealth here in our great nation. And here's the part that may surprise you. Most, if not all of the strategies they used, are still available today. That is, of course, if you know where to look. So, if you've ever felt like the system is rigged, like Wall Street has you on a leash, or like true financial freedom is slipping further and further away, I want you to lean in and listen closely, because this episode is going to expose it all. So, without further ado, let's get into it. When we think about guys like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, we picture powdered wigs, epic speeches, maybe a battlefield. What we don't picture is their balance sheet. But here's the truth, they weren't just political rebels. They were strategic wealth builders. Take George Washington, for example. He wasn't just a general. He was one of the wealthiest men in the colonies. He owned more than 50,000 acres of land across multiple states. He leveraged debt to acquire real estate. He diversified into farming, milling, and even ran a distillery. He structured his assets in trusts to protect his estate. That's not just patriotism, that's a blueprint. Let's look at Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson was an idealist, but he was also an innovator. He invested in land development, imported specialized crops, and even ran side businesses from Monticello. But here's where it gets real. Jefferson struggled financially. He made critical mistakes we can learn from. He overleveraged his land and failed to build liquidity. By the time he died, he was buried in debt. So while we learn from Washington's structure, we learn from Jefferson's chaos. Lesson? Assets without liquidity are a trap. It's not enough to have land or equity, you need access to usable cash. That's why I'm so passionate about helping people set up private reserve strategies, because freedom without liquidity is just a pretty prison. Now here's the big idea I want you to walk away with today. The American Revolution wasn't just a war against a king. It was a rebellion against a rigged economic system. The colonists were sick of paying taxes to a government overseas. They were tired of being told what they could grow, sell, and profit from. Sound familiar? Because today, we're still taxed without real representation. We're still being told where we can put our money, how long we have to lock it up, and how much Wall Street gets to take before we ever see a return. But back then, something shifted. The founders didn't just write a constitution, they created an environment where wealth could be built without a crown taking its cut. They decentralized the economy. They opened the doors for ownership, for land, for innovation. That spirit is still alive, but you won't find it in a 401k. You won't find it in government pensions or index funds. You'll find it in ownership, leverage, private lending, real estate, cash flow, control. Let's talk about how this applies today. We're in the middle of a quiet revolution right now. More people than ever are waking up and asking the question, why am I trading my time for money, only to give half of it away in taxes, fees, and inflation? Here's the answer. Because we forgot what true freedom looks like. True financial independence isn't about retirement at 65. That's a leash. True wealth is about creating cash flow now. It's about owning assets that pay you every month. It's about learning the same playbook the founders used. Let me break this down real simple. Washington used land. Today, that's real estate. He used trusts. Today, that's asset protection and tax sheltering. He used leverage. Today, that's strategic use of capital borrowing wisely to acquire cash-flowing assets, not depreciating liabilities. He built multiple income streams. Today, that might mean flipping houses, private money lending, setting up passive businesses, or investing in alternative strategies that give you control and predictability. Now let's talk about what's standing in your way. The modern system is designed to distract you. We're told to just save a little, live below our means, put it in a fund, and hope it grows over 40 years. That's not freedom. That's financial sedation. And the longer you play by those rules, the more you delay your revolution. So I want to challenge you today. This 4th of July dawn, just wave the flag. Don't just barbecue and shoot off fireworks. Declare your independence. From the paycheck to paycheck cycle. From debt you don't understand. From systems that promise safety but deliver scarcity. Declare that you will build wealth on your terms. That you will take ownership. That you will pass something down to your children besides student loans and broken dreams. That's what the founders wanted. Not just freedom from tyranny, but freedom to create, to prosper, to thrive. So let's recap what we learned today. George Washington used land, debt, and diversification to build generational wealth. Thomas Jefferson showed us the dangers of illiquidity and over-leverage. The founders weren't just rebels, they were builders. And the American Revolution wasn't just political, it was economic. Today, we face our own kind of tyranny. It's wrapped in suits and tax codes. It's embedded in financial institutions that make billions off our ignorance. But here's the good news. You can opt out. You can build your own system. You can leverage alternative wealth, strategies, real estate, private lending, high cash flow businesses, tax-free growth to regain control. You don't need permission. You just need the blueprint. And it's the same one the founders used. So here's my challenge to you. This Independence Day, ask yourself one question. If I keep doing what I'm doing, am I building freedom? Or am I building a cage? If your answer doesn't fire you, then it's time to make a change. Take back control. Rethink everything you've been taught about money. Find mentors who are doing things differently. Build cash flow. Leverage debt the right way. Protect your assets. And create wealth that lasts not just for you, but for your legacy. That's what this show is all about. That's the mission of the ultimate wealth community. And that's how you declare independence in today's economy. If today's episode lit a fire in you, do me a favor, subscribe to the show. Leave a review. Share this with someone who's ready to start their own wealth revolution. And if you're serious about building something real, something that gives you time, freedom, and ownership, then join us inside the ultimate wealth community. I'll catch you on the next episode. Until then, live free, build wealth, and never stop pushing the limits of what's possible. Happy 4th of July.
Stack that bread and vomit nose. Anything is possible. Yeah. Trying to get a lot of dough and dirt through all the obstacles. Cause anything is possible. Hey.